Hello and welcome to Coming Home with Mama T. I'm your host, Tiara, aka Mama T, and on this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life of our desires through mastering manifestation, maintaining a positive mindset, and living luxuriously. Today, I want to bring to you a conversation about being nice and being kind. What is the difference between the two? And how can we tap into the one that is actually better for us as a whole, a collective, for yourself, for me, for you, for all of us? Yes. So, with that, what's the difference? Um, we first want to start with nice. I feel like growing up, we're taught that it is right, quote unquote, to be nice. We should all be nice to one another. We should treat others with niceties. And so nice has a lot of should all over it. Has a lot of should all over it. And it has become a word that I find is more synonymous with polite. Being polite, doing the thing that everyone will see as the correct thing to do, meeting the expectation. But it's really this thing, the things that we do that we're not connected to. It is doing what we believe might be best received by the group, the collective, the person, whomever and wherever we are. It is the expected thing. But it's not necessarily the thing, the action, the words that come from our own true heart. So with being nice tends to come with sacrifice. And I find it interesting that they rhyme because we tend to sacrifice ourselves in doing the nice thing. We're doing the nice thing, the thing that we think that people are going to applaud us for, the thing that we think people expect us to do, the thing that we think people are saying we should do. And so therefore we feel a sense of loss when we perform because it's basically a performance, yes. And while the actions of both the nice and kind can be the exact same, if the connection's not there, then it's not kind. So what's the difference, or what is kind? Kindness comes from the heart. Kindness is an action that is truly connected, that you're doing this from the heart. It's not about whether or not the world thinks it's the right thing to do, whether or not it meets an expectation, whether or not it has anything attached to it. It's love. It is an action, a speech. It is words of love. It is actions of love. It's like when you're thinking about your relationship with someone, like maybe you've been in like a romantic relationship and you tell your partner, like, I love it when this thing happens, like I love it when you bring me flowers, not just because it's my birthday or our anniversary, but I just love receiving flowers. I think they're amazing, they're beautiful, they're wonderful. It makes me feel good. And then you get flowers from that partner. And there are times where you get the flowers and they're like just super excited. They're like, oh, I was at the store and I saw these flowers and I picked them up and I thought of you because, like, oh my God, I remembered that you liked flowers. And it's just like this whole, like, this feeling in them. And they're like, oh, and it's like an action of love. Like, I want to get this person these flowers because they love it and I love them, and I'm going to get them and I'm going to give them to them and I'm really excited about it. And they give you the flowers and it's just this beautiful moment of giving and receiving, and you feel the love and the action, and it's just wonderful. Versus, like, same situation. You tell your partner that you really like flowers, you love them or whatever, and they just so happen to be like at an event, whatever, and someone gave them flowers and they're like, oh, flowers, whatever, flowers. Oh, wait. My person told me that they like flowers. I'll just like hold on to them and I'll give them to them when I get home and, whatever. Maybe they'll like do something nice and kind if I like hand them these flowers, like whatever. There's nothing really attached to it. There's no connection to this act of giving. So they show up and they're like, "Yo, flowers for you." Oh, and like you're like, "Oh, great." Like, "Oh, where'd you get them?" They're like, "Ah, whatever. They were a gift from somebody else and I knew you like flowers, so here's your flowers." The action is the same, but it doesn't feel the same, right? There wasn't the thought, the love, the kindness behind it. There is the difference. It's like that, like when they talk about, oh, we women are crazy because we say we want you to, yes, we want you to take out the trash, but we want you to want to take out the trash. It's that same, that's what we mean. We want the connection. We want the intimacy. We want the feeling behind it. That's what we're talking about here. So there is the nice act, which is I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't really want to do the thing. And I might even build up resentment from doing the thing. I'm not connected to doing the thing, whether it helps someone or not. I'm just doing the thing that is meeting an expectation of me. And there is nothing there versus the like I'm doing this thing and I'm realizing like how it's going to impact the people around me, and it makes me feel good to do this thing because I do want to impact the people around me in a positive light, and I feel the love for these people, and this action really shows how much I love them. This is just how I can put love into work. This is beautiful. I'm connected to it. And I might not be excited to take out the trash, but like, oh my gosh, I love the feeling when I have a clean home and this feels good. So like I am now letting go of all the waste and whatever. Like you make a ritual out of it. Like there is a difference. It's the difference between living life on like autopilot and just going and allowing life to happen to us and being intentional about it. Nice is autopilot. Kindness is intentionality. Do you want to be intentional about your life? Do you want to be intentional about your actions? Do you want to feel connected to those that the actions impact? That is a choice for you. There is no right, there is no wrong. It's your choice. What do you want in your life? And going back to behaving in a nice way. When we behave nicely, as in meeting those expectations, as in doing the things that, other people have said they like, they want, they need, they whatever, and we are not connected to it, that fosters resentment. Plain and simple. It fosters resentment. It cultivates anger and frustration. And then we step further and further away from the kindness and the love. Even if we do love the thing, the person, the situation, whatever, even if we do truly have love for what's going on around us, there's this duality that's cultivated because we can't even find the love to do the thing. We're just doing the quote unquote right thing, or what we see as the right thing, the obligation. And then we have to do the work. If we want to get back to the kindness, we have to do the work to let it go. We have to do the work to tap into it. Yes. And I invite you, if you do find that you're like, okay, I have work to do, I want to do the work, I invite you to check out the home membership. I invite you to check out booking like a one-on-one session or mentorship or whatever feels good for you to have support in doing the work. If you desire it, I invite you to tap into those avenues, and I'll talk more about them at the end, as I usually do. But with that, doing that work so you can come back to kindness, doing the forgiveness work. I've already posted a forgiveness meditation and conversation, so you can tap into that after this if you would like to, if you recognize that you're acting out of nicety and you want to act out of kindness, you want to act out of love. It's good to tap into that forgiveness for yourself, for those around you, so you can work on that resentment, let it go, and come back and come forward. And as we really put this into practice, we put into practice being kind, because when we're being kind, we're also serving ourselves, right? The niceness, I said, it doesn't have connection to it. So we're not connected to it. We don't love it. We don't feel into it. We're just going through the motions. And those motions are detached from an emotion until it fosters a lower vibration, right? So if we want to bring in that higher frequency, that gratitude, that love, that thankfulness for the ability to be able to participate in this experience, if we want to bring that forward, we have to have that awareness. We have to put in that work. We have to bring forward that thought. We have to be intentional. We have to take radical self responsibility for that experience. Yes. Mhm. It's so good. And the more we do that, the more we see when we are sacrificing ourselves and our actions. And then we can see when we can be kind to ourselves and our actions, and being kind to others is being kind to ourselves because they are connected. I remember once upon a time, I was a part of a community and I was an elected official for this community. And I was really like, it was time, it was election time all over again. I was really excited to like be reelected. I was looking forward to it. I knew, like, I was like, this is like, it's in the bag. I've already had like an amazing year doing this. Like, it's going to be like, I'm going to come back and it's going to be wonderful. And all this. So I'm leading the whole thing. And as I'm leading it, I am watching the elections happen. And I did it in a way where the um, what would be considered the less responsibility officers went first, and then the bigger the responsibility went last. And so as like the head, my position was last up for running those votes. And so I'm like leading the votes and I'm seeing people voting, and I recognize that as we're voting, um, people are voting for a particular person. Uh, at first, nobody was voting for them, or maybe one or two people. And as this person kept being like, I just really want to be in a place. I love our community. I really want to foster and facilitate. They kept running, and people kept started to raise their hand more and started to lean into it, and to the point where by the time it got to my seat and we're running against each other, there was a tie, and then that person ended up winning that the elected seat. And at the time, I was very angry. I felt rejected. I felt hurt. Like, how dare they do this? But I also saw the writing on the wall. I saw how people were shifting who they were voting for because they were being nice. And I do believe I said something when I like did my little speech about, remember, like, vote for who you think will do the best job, not because you want to be nice. Like, I think I even said something like that at the time. And whatever. And so it happens, and then like the thing goes through, and then people are shocked. They're shocked that the other person got the role over me. And people came up to me afterwards and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so so sorry. I ended up voting for this person because I wanted to be nice. Because I wanted to be nice." And I was like, "It's okay. You chose to be nice rather than, choosing what you thought was right. You sacrifice." Like, at the time I didn't have these words. I was like, yeah, I get it. I understand. I saw it happening. I saw people shift who they were voting for with each and every vote, because I saw everything as taking the tally does. But honestly, like, I was just like, hmm, I did the forgiveness work on it. I know, like, okay, I see it. And when I look back at that time, I'm like, man, if I had gotten that role, then the things that I got to do the following year, I would have felt obligated to do something for my community whenever there was a conflict. I would have felt obligated to do the thing rather than do the thing that I actually wanted to do. So it worked out for me. Everything is always working out for us. And so I love to look at the world and life as everything's working out for us. That was an opportunity for me to let go of obligation and actually be kind to myself, be kind to myself and the things that I wanted to cultivate and create in my life. I had more space to do different work that I wanted to do, and I didn't feel obligated to show up in a collective that I was no longer holding on to. Like, am I energetically, I wasn't there anymore anyway. Why even like physically be there? So it was a perfect opportunity for me. But when I look at it and I look at the people from the perspective of the people who felt upset and guilty, opportunity for them to forgive themselves, of course, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that big of a deal anyway, but in my opinion. But when I think about them and their guilt that they had, it's because the guilt is the feeling of the sacrifice. They sacrificed what they thought would have been a better choice to be nice. And so there's a perfect example of that disconnect. Like, okay, I did the thing that I felt would be like an okay thing. And like, it's like I said, grand scheme of things, not a big deal overall, right? And we tend to do the nice thing when we don't feel like it is going to have that huge of an impact overall in our life. And that's okay. But the more we do the nice thing, that's the more we're chipping away of ourselves. That's the more that we're sacrificing ourselves until we get to a point where we realize that there's like, half of ourselves left. There might even be none of ourselves left, and we don't even know who we are because we've made that much of a sacrifice, because we've disconnected so much from our thoughts, our actions, and our words that we are no longer who we came to this earth to be. So with that, I invite you to bring yourself back. I invite you to come home to yourself. That's what we're here to talk about, right? Taking that radical self-responsibility, having that self-awareness so that we know who we are, what we want to be, who we want to be, closing the gaps between the differences of who we are right now to who we want to be. Really taking that responsibility and connecting in and being intentional about anything and everything that we do in this world, in this life, in this journey, and not making it good or bad if we, quote unquote, fall off the wagon. Just understanding where the shifts and the changes need to be made if we want to do something different. Different, not better. Haha. Being intentional about our words, being intentional about our actions, being connected in. And if you want more support around being connected in, I invite you to come deeper into Mama T energy. You can do the Activate Your Inner Shift meditation series. It's designed for you to activate anything that you're working on, whether it be kindness, whether it be forgiveness. It's all about that belief work for yourself. And that's a great place to start. Start believing in yourself and your capacity, your power, your radical responsibility for your life and the creation of it. And from there, you can tap into any of the paid opportunities from one-on-one sessions with me. You can just have like a one-off, as many as an hour, as long as an hour, and as short as I believe 11 minutes is the shortest one. And you can tap into however you like. You can use it for divination. You can use it for coaching. You can use it for energy work. You can make it a mix, mingle, that jingle and beat. Voice work if you want to practice utilizing your voice and speaking more. All of that is there for you. You can also tap into the home membership community, and it is a beautiful sacred space. I really am activating and cultivating this space for us to come together and grow together. I am a guide and a facilitator, but you truly are a leader in your life and your responsibility. You are the one that does the work. I present opportunity, but you do the work. And it is beautiful and sacred, and you get to be like a founding member of that space. And the rewards to being a founding member are less people in it, number one, so you have more personal time for yourself in there, opportunities to really share and be seen and connect and communicate, presenting yourself as a leader, as a founder. I've been a founder in communities before, and I have found that is one, a great way to tap into coaching and mentorship and all of that, but also, showing up. The more I do the work and the more I show up and the more I post in that space, others get to see me. So if you're a business owner, if you're a coach, if you're someone that has a voice that you would like to share, being able to share it and then presenting yourself as a powerful voice that you are, then other people get to see you and connect with you and build community and join your communities and join your spaces as well. So that is like a beautiful opportunity there. And if you want an even deeper dive, there is the mentorship package where you have private one-on-one session and access to the home membership. And I truly believe with having that one-on-one session and being a part of the community, that allows us space to one, connect deeper together one-on-one and as a collective. And I get to see you step into your leadership and own your power. And I truly believe that as this home membership community grows and thrives and more people come in, I'm going to need more facilitators, more guides in that space. And I believe that the first people I'm going to reach out to help facilitate that space, to that I'm going to hire, right? Talk money, honey. Hire to help in that space are going to be the people that I've mentored, that I've worked with one-on-one and seen show up in that home membership community space. So I love that. And in terms of talking money as well, I do want to say that I see the home membership having an affiliate space down the line as well. So as you're in it, as we're growing, as we're thriving, as you're sharing your stories and you're finding the shifts and the changes within yourself and your life, and you're recognizing that this is the amazing sacred space that it's intended to be, and you start sharing that with your friends and family members and those that you believe will help make this space even more epic and extraordinary, you'll get a kickback for those who you invite into the space. So that is something I'm looking to cultivate there as well. And so wherever it is that feels right for you to tap into, I invite you to come in. I invite you to be a part of the journey. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And with that, I'm going to say ta-ta for now. And I love you so, so much.